siempre he dicho, primero estoy agradecido con Dios. Yo he trabajado muy duro para llegar donde yo estoy. Y yo le voy a dar el todo por el todo a mi familia para que esté bien. Estoy listo para dejarlo todo en el cuadrilátero.
The Rising Sun returns. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. battles Ivan Choco Hernandez. In the red corner from Bayamon, Puerto Rico, the junior featherweight world champion, the son of Puerto Rican pride, Wilfredo Papito Vazquez Jr. In the blue corner from Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico, the former world champion, Ivan Choco Hernandez.
I'm always sure of the work I do. I've worked very hard to get to where I am. I've always seen this as a job. I've never seen it any other way. And I've always had respect for all my opponents. I know Ivan Choco Hernandez is an excellent boxer. I need to be cautious when I fight him because I know he has a lot of experience, and that's the only edge he has against me. I've worked on what I know how to do. I know how to box, and I know how to brawl. If he wants to brawl, we will brawl. If he wants to box, we can box. It's not hard to adapt to any one style. I'm working hard on my stamina, and I'm working hard on my speed.
Two fighters, one ring. Puerto Rico against Mexico, an instant classic. Vazquez Jr. versus Hernandez.
I know he loves to box. He doesn't like to brawl. He's not your typical Mexican warrior. He doesn't like to exchange punches. I'm going to cut off the ring until he's forced to brawl with me. That means that in my training, I have to make sure I'm ready for this type of fight. He's going to run, I'm going to make him stop, and I'm going to make him exchange punches. I've already been a world champion, and that was something marvelous in my life. But this time, it's more significant to me because it's against someone I want to fight, and I feel I'm in a more mature stage of my career.
All-Star Boxing presents The Rising Sun returns as the son of a legend, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. defends his WBO junior featherweight title against Mexican contender Ivan Choco Hernandez, live on pay-per-view Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this action-packed fight as Vazquez Jr. makes his second title defense. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. Choco Hernandez, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view.
All fights are important to us, and we train for every fight the same way. We never underestimate any opponent, because you never know who can surprise you. He's as ready for this fight as he was when he fought the Filipino Sonsona to win the world title.
Vazquez Jr. is the WBO junior featherweight champion, but knows he faces a difficult challenge to retain his crown as he meets a dangerous rival in Ivan Choco Hernandez.
This is a new challenge in his career. Ivan Hernandez is an ex-champion, a tough fighter, an experienced fighter, and a win here could take his career to the next level. He's slowly becoming an idol, and with a victory, he could become one of the brightest stars in boxing. He's fighting a warrior in Choco Hernandez. He has a lot of experience. He's only 27 years old, but he was a world champion at 21. He dominates in the ring. We have to see who's going to impose their will inside the ring that night. Vazquez could win by knockout if he catches Hernandez cold early on, but I envision this going the full 12 rounds. He's taken on Montiel, Israel Vazquez, Toshiaki, the WBC champion from Japan. He's fought the cream of the crop. He's faced the top fighters because he's won the right to fight them, and he's had the credentials to face the best in the division. He's a great boxer. He boxes a lot, and he has very good power. He has a very similar record to mine, except he's lost 3 times. But they didn't come against nobodies. They came against the best in the division. That's all I can tell you about Choco Hernandez, and we're preparing to fight this caliber of fighter.
Choco Hernandez is hungry for glory, and he wants to be a world champion again.
We've been training very hard. Probably the best camp in my career, because this fight means so much to me. I've been sparring hard against fighters with a similar style to Vazquez. I have two sparring partners that I believe are stronger than Wilfredo Vazquez. Everything is working out to my advantage. Everything is going great in the gym. He's eating right with Hugo Diaz, his physical trainer. His sparring partners have emulated Vazquez Jr.'s style very well. We're looking into every one of his flaws, and we're going to be ready to capitalize on them when we face him. Choco's experience is what's most likely taking this fight the full 12 rounds. There's no doubt that Vazquez is the favorite because he's stronger and he's the more natural fighter in this weight class. Hernandez is moving up in weight. He was a world champion at 115 pounds, and this fight is at 122. But his experience is going to be a factor in this fight, and my prediction is that it'll end by decision.
It's a question of pride. They will fight for the honor of their countrymen. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. versus Ivan Choco Hernandez.
This is going to be a great fight, an even fight, a war between Mexico and Puerto Rico. There's been a lot of classics between the two countries, and this fight isn't going to be the exception. It's going to be a war in the ring. Both fighters are in tip-top shape. We'll know who the winner will be on October 16th. This is another war between Puerto Rico and Mexico. This is a very important fight in Wilfredo Vazquez Jr.'s career. Wilfredo won the title this year, and a lot of people say he has very little experience. But with only 19 fights, he's demonstrated he's one of the best in boxing. This is a fight that will take him to the next level. I work for me. I need to be comfortable. I know a lot of people like intense fights. They love the brawls. But this isn't based on that. It's based on who's more intelligent inside the ring. And fighting in Kissimmee isn't going to make a big difference, because you could be fighting in your own backyard, but your opponent comes in with the same hunger. And when that happens, anything can happen. Wilfredo is a champion. I've never run away from anybody. When I was world champion, I didn't run away from any challenge. I'm here to fight the best. He's a great fighter and a good person. He's a humble person, and I'm excited to fight him because he's such a noble person. Right now, we're rivals, but once the fight is over, I'll walk over to him, I'll shake his hand because this is a gentleman's sport. And I'm honored to fight Wilfredo Vazquez Jr.
Live on pay-per-view, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this action-packed fight as Vazquez Jr. makes his second title defense. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr., Choco Hernandez, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view.
When we enter the ring that night, I'll tell him to keep his hands up, and he will do it. Papito is a very intelligent fighter. Papito does what I advise him to do. He does it. You can't give him that advice during training because he'll forget. He's focused on the fight and on his training. You have to tell him at the moment the fight begins. When the bell rings, if the fighter's intelligent, he'll obey the instructions of his trainer. The flaw Vazquez Jr. has is that he never fought as an amateur. He started his career as a pro, and he's always faced fighters with a lot of experience. Choco Hernandez had a great amateur career and has a lot of pro experience, and at any moment this can be very costly to Vazquez Jr. Wilfredo has trained well, and he's prepared just as he always is. He's been guided by his father, Wilfredo Vazquez, a man who knows a lot about boxing and who's turned a young man who only 3.5 years ago wasn't a boxer into a world champion. I think preparation is what makes Vazquez Jr. a great fighter.
Our boxing presents The Rising Sun returns as the son of a legend, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. defends his WBO junior featherweight title against Mexican contender Ivan Choco Hernandez, live on pay-per-view Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this action-packed fight as Vazquez Jr. makes his second title defense. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. Choco Hernandez, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view.
I'm happy to be fighting in Kissimmee, where everything started. When a lot of people didn't believe in me, the fans in Kissimmee gave me their vote of confidence. And every time I fought there, they filled up the arena. They always had that faith in me. They would always come up to me and tell me I will be a world champion one day, and to return as a world champion is a sweet emotion. I'm returning with the world title, and I'm gonna give these fans a thrill. Fighting in Kissimmee is going to help him a lot because he has the support of the people who have supported him his entire career as a pro before winning the world title, and he's going to feel at home like he's always felt in Kissimmee. He's going to feel like he's in Puerto Rico. In Kissimmee, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, and there will be thousands there that night supporting him. Papitos fought most of his fights in Kissimmee. I thought his emotions would get the best of him in Puerto Rico, and he passed that test. He's going to fight the same way in Kissimmee. He's going to listen to me, follow my instructions, and we're ready to go the 12 rounds.
All-Star Boxing presents The Rising Sun returns as the son of a legend, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. defends his WBO junior featherweight title against Mexican contender Ivan Choco Hernandez, live on pay-per-view Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this action-packed fight as Vazquez Jr. makes his second title defense. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. Choco Hernandez, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view.
I'm very calm for this fight. I'm not worried one bit. If everything goes well, then fine. If not, oh well. But I'm ready physically and mentally to fight 12 rounds. If I need to brawl, I'll brawl. If I have to box, I'll box. If I have to do both at the same time, I'll be ready for that too. I'm ready to leave everything in the ring. I think that he's making a mistake, thinking he's going to beat me. That night he's going to find out that he made a huge mistake, picking me as his opponent. I'm not saying I'm Superman, but he's going to have to do battle with me. This is going to be a war. He's going to know that night that I'm a great fighter, and I'm taking that title back to Mexico. Papito's advantage is that he's in great condition, and he's not afraid of anyone. He's very intelligent, and he has 2 cinder blocks in his hands. At 122, he hits like an 140-pounder, and he's going to prove that. I think Choco Hernandez is a fighter with a lot of stamina. Most of his fights go the distance. He's taken on guys who take a good punch. So Vazquez Jr. has his work cut out for him. He can't come into his fight thinking he's knocking out Choco Hernandez because he has a very good chin. I don't think Hernandez wins this fight. I'm not saying it's impossible, but Vazquez is the hungrier fighter. That motivation that the fans are going to give him is a huge factor, and he has big plans in his career. It's going to be very tough to beat him. I think it's a tough fight for Wilfredo Vazquez Jr., but he's a young fighter, he hits hard, and trains even harder. And in front of his people, he will defeat Ivan Choco Hernandez by decision or by knockout in the later rounds.
All-Star Boxing presents The Rising Sun returns as the son of a legend, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. defends his WBO junior featherweight title against Mexican contender Ivan Choco Hernandez, live on pay-per-view Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this action-packed fight as Vazquez Jr. makes his second title defense. Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. Choco Hernandez, Saturday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view. Satellite Company.
Wilfredo Vazquez Jr.